Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Brian Holman, and here's our lineup for today's show. In Ag News, we'll take a look at local and national headlines affecting Kansas farmers. In our Ag feature, Ken visits with Congressman Roger Marshall. And inside Kansas Ag, Kansas Soybean talks tracking basis, then Farm Bureau talks young farmer and rancher competition. And in news you need to know, we get our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association, look back at last week's market activity with the guys from Paragon, and we'll let you know about important events coming up around the state of Kansas. Glad you could join us.
Closed captioning brought to you by
The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. KansasSoybeans.org.
Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Kansas Weed Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com. Kansas Livestock Association, supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org.
Here's our national headlines for this week in Ag News. USDA's quarterly hog and pig report confirms the continued expansion of the industry. The industry contracted after an outbreak of PEDV starting in 2014 and has rebounded strongly with record production in 2016 and an even faster pace in 2017. The pace has accelerated even further recently with 2 new pork plants coming online and daily slaughter matching or hitting new all-time highs several times in September. The U.S. herd was a record high 73.5 million head, up 3% on the quarter and 2% on the year. The United States and South Korea have agreed to amend their free trade agreement known as KORUS. The announcement following the second round of talks following recent concerns about a U.S. withdrawal. There are no details on the specific changes the two sides might seek. The National Pork Producer Council says it will continue to fight for the preservation of U.S. pork's zero tariff treatment in KORUS. South Korea is the 5th largest export market for U.S. pork. The EPA says beginning November 15th, the agency will require farmers to report air releases of hazardous substances from animal waste. According to the EPA website, in April, a D.C. Circuit Court vacated a 2008 EPA rule that had exempted farms from reporting if those farms contained fewer than a certain number of animals. The EPA says it will have guidelines developed by October 16th to assist farmers in meeting the reporting requirements. And in local news, the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, in conjunction with the Kansas Department of Wildlife, Parks, and Tourism, has issued a public health warning for 9 lakes. If a lake is under a public health warning for blue-green algae, activities such as boating and fishing may be safe. However, direct contact with the water, like skiing and swimming, is strongly discouraged for people, pets, and livestock. Go to kdhe.ks.gov for the list. Kansas State University's College of Agriculture ranks 4th in the nation according to a 2018 survey of the best colleges for agricultural sciences in America. The survey by niche.com ranks 43 colleges using 2015 through 17 data from the U.S. Department of Education, the most recent that is currently available. It compares the top agricultural science degree programs, including horticulture, agronomy, crop science, turf management, and aquaculture. U.S. Senator Pat Roberts, chairman of the Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry, introduced Kansan Gregory Dowd at a hearing on his nomination to serve as Chief Agricultural Negotiator in the Office of the United States Trade Representative. Dowd grew up on a farm near Mankato. Prior to his current role as president of the Commodity Markets Council, he served as a senior professional staff member for Chairman Roberts on the Senate Agricultural Committee. Congratulations, Gregory. Up next in our Ag feature, Ken visits with Congressman Roger Marshall. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. Please stay tuned.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Livestock Association, supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Kansas Weed Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
All over the country, more and more communities are making the change to biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil. And the decision continues, improving the health and welfare for millions of Americans while adding billions to our national economy.
What does a brighter, more sustainable future look like in our cities and towns, and how do we get there? When New York needed an alternative fuel source to reduce carbon emissions, the city found what it needed in biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
Well, thank you for joining us. And 1st District Congressman Roger Marshall is joining us. He is on the road during this break and actually stopped in to talk to a lot of folks in agriculture in Manhattan. And you're a member of the House Ag Committee, so you've also been having some Farm Bill listening sessions. What are you hearing from farmers?
Yeah, certainly, Ken, there's a very consistent message from farmers. Number one, it's pretty tough out there. This is the third year of depressed prices. Just in 2015, the average farm income was $5,000, and it's pretty hard to raise a family on $5,000 a year. So we're hearing that it's a tough economy, and they're giving me my marching orders. They want me to get out and open up new markets for trade. And then more specifically about the Farm Bill, what I'm hearing is that that crop insurance is the backbone of every farm bill we've ever written. And that crop insurance doesn't just protect the farmer, it protects the loan you have at the bank, and it protects our downtown as well.
Well, I know there's a lot of folks that have given you a lot of advice on what needs to happen. Trade is one of those issues that is really coming to a head. We can talk maybe more about that in a little bit, but overall, what's kind of the attitude in Washington when it comes to agriculture trade?
I think that Washington recognizes it's real important, and I think that this president recognizes it's real important. If you haven't noticed yet, when Donald Trump gets behind something, he really gets behind it. And it's just great to hear some of his comments that he's telling leadership. A comment, for instance, talking about immigration, he told one of our leaders that we have to take care of the farmer. So certainly this president has come around on agriculture trade and understands how important it is.
One of the things that's come out this week is the president was in Phoenix, talked about, well, maybe NAFTA won't be good. That's kind of sent some shockwaves through agriculture.
Ken, I have to admit, I was a little bit surprised to see that comment, but I would keep encouraging people to judge this president by what he does. My old track coach used to say, don't tell me, show me. And under this administration, we've already opened up quite a few opportunities. We've opened up beef in China. In South Korea, we've opened up poultry, rice to Colombia, and pork into Argentina. This president wants to get NAFTA done so that we can get over to Japan and get that bilateral agreement done as well. I'm sure you know this, but recently we lost our previous trade agreement with Japan, ran out, and we went a tariff from 38% up to 50%. So the good news is that NAFTA round 1 is done, rounds 2 and 3 are scheduled in September. And we have to keep, our hope is that this U.S. trade rep, Bob Lighthizer, who worked for Senator Dole for 15 years, is going to get her done.
We're talking with Congressman Roger Marshall. We'll have you back in just a moment.
This segment brought to you by Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. Grassandgrain.com. Kansas Weed Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
And we're being joined today by Kansas 1st District Congressman Roger Marshall from Great Bend, who is also a member of the House Ag Committee. And getting back into the session, the last part of the year, what's on the agenda?
Ken, well, the very first thing out of the chute is we need to pass a budget. Just like any business, Congress needs a budget to run on. And then once we do that, we can get on to tax reform. And tax reform has a big impact. It's probably one of the 2 or 3 things that I can do in Congress to help improve business across the country. So we need to start lowering our corporate taxes, our S-Corp, LLC Corp tax rates as well, and make the individual income tax policy much simpler. So that's on the front and center for me right now. And then we need to work on infrastructure issues as well. The president has said infrastructure is a top priority for him, and we want to make sure we get that done this fall as well.
How do you think that will come together? There's been a lot of speculation. There'll be some partnerships with the states. There'll be some public-private partnership. What are you seeing that plan develop as?
Yeah, I think the president's made it very clear that with infrastructure, it's not a handout. He wants to partner either with state governments, local municipalities. He wants to be ready, I would describe shovel-ready projects, and maybe more than just roads and bridges. This administration understands that infrastructure is much more than roads and bridges. I think that they understand that we have water, sewage issues in rural Kansas. They understand that we need high-speed internet access as well.
That's another issue that has been brought up. A lot of folks have taken that in order to move this economy, we've got to make sure we have higher speeds and higher broadband in rural areas. And of course, the 1st District is one of those that is in pretty good shape, all things considered.
Exactly, but I keep telling people that the farms of today are not my mom and dad's farms, that you need access to high-speed internet to efficiently lower your input costs and to manage your business plan as well. So it's better, but we still got some room to grow according to people at my Farm Bill hearings.
As you're getting through this first year, did you ever think there'd be kind of the issue of the week? You know, you're dealing with one issue and then something completely different the next week and on to the next week, but still with those underlying base issues that people in the 1st District have always looked towards?
Yeah, Ken, I guess to me it's all just noise. I've always been really good at just staying laser focused on the issues in front of me and the things I can control. I wake up in the morning wondering how we can improve trade, wondering how we can have a truly affordable access to meaningful health care. How can we make this economy grow? How can we help the ag producers back in Kansas? So, for instance, somebody asked me about the testimony of Comey, and my response was, is he appearing on the House Ag Committee tomorrow? And if he's not, I'll read about it the next day.
All right, well, very good. Well, appreciate your time. Thanks for spending your break all over the state visiting with folks, and we'll talk to you again.
Thank you, and thanks so much for having me.
Congressman Roger Marshall has joined us. He is a member of the House Agriculture Committee. You're watching the Kansas Ag Report. We'll have more in just a moment.
Thank you for watching Kansas Ag Report. You've made us the highest rated ag TV show in the state of Kansas, and we thank you.
Farmers in western Kansas planning to campaign for a seat on one of the state's 5 commodity commissions, including the Kansas Soybean Commission, should be gathering petition signatures to meet the November 30 filing deadline. The 2018 election will cover District 1 in the Northwest, 2 in the west central part of the state, and 3 in the Southwest. One person represents all 3 on the Soybean Commission. To be included on a commission ballot, a candidate must have grown that commodity within the last 3 years and gather 20 signatures from eligible voters, with no more than 5 from one county. Eligible voters are Kansas residents who are 18 before the election, have grown the commodity within the last 3 years, and are registered to vote with the Kansas Department of Agriculture. Candidate registration packets are available from the department and the commodity commissions. Get more information from KDA at 785-564-6700 or agriculture.ks.gov on the web. Soybean candidates also can call 877-KS-SOYBEAN or visit kansassoybeans.org/commissioners. The Kansas Soybean Commission, established in 1977 and headquartered in Topeka, includes 9 volunteer farmer commissioners elected by their peers. They oversee investments of the legislated soybean checkoff assessment and projects to improve the profit opportunities for all Kansas soybean farmers.
Skills, demonstrate their success, and be recognized for their accomplishments. The Young Farmers and Ranchers Discussion Meet is designed to simulate a committee meeting where participants have the chance to become knowledgeable about a few ag issues and then discuss one of them in a group of 4 to 6 people. Participants are evaluated individually on their ability to analyze a problem, think critically about solutions, and engage cooperatively. The Excellence in Agriculture Award recognizes members who earn the majority of their income off the farm but are actively engaged in agriculture in their community. This award requires an application, and finalists will deliver a presentation to a panel of judges. The Young Farmer and Rancher of the Year Award recognizes members who earn the majority of their income from their farm or ranch. It measures young producers' farm management practices and rewards active involvement in community leadership. This award requires an application, and finalists will be interviewed by a panel of judges. Competitions will take place on January 27th at the 2018 Young Farmers and Ranchers Leaders Conference, and the top 4 participants in each of these competitions will receive cash prizes from $100 to $500. The winner will represent Kansas in the national competition at the 2019 American Farm Bureau Annual Convention. Find the rules, deadlines, and application forms under the Get Involved tab at www.kfb.org.
This segment brought to you by Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. Grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Premier Farm and Home has what you need to make your lawn the best in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ken. We choose Premier Farm and Home for the professional look that we do ourselves.
Feel free to stop in. You can also visit our website at heycow.com.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
All over the country, more and more communities are making the change to biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil, and the decision continues improving the health and welfare for millions of Americans while adding billions to our national economy.
What does a brighter, more sustainable future look like in our cities and towns, and how do we get there? When New York needed an alternative fuel source to reduce carbon emissions, the city found what it needed in biodiesel made from U.S. soybean oil.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
Sand County Foundation, in partnership with Ranchland Trust of Kansas and the Kansas Association of Conservation Districts, has named finalists for the Kansas Leopold Conservation Award. The award honors Kansas landowners for achievement in voluntary stewardship and natural resource management. The finalists are the Voorhees family, owners of Lazy VJ Farms near Fredonia, Ted and Brian Alexander, owners of Alexander Ranch at Sun City, and Beaver Creek Buffalo of Goodland. Rotational grazing and cross-fencing are used to prevent overgrazing in the Voorhees family's cow-calf operation. They also have created wetlands, buffers, and riparian areas to improve water quality, reduce soil erosion, and provide wildlife habitat. Alexander Ranch successfully has used a rotational grazing system for nearly 30 years. The Alexanders also have done extensive clearing of eastern red cedar trees and increased native plant and wildlife diversity. Beaver Creek is managed by Ken and Lori Clem while partnering with Peter and Marion Terrio on a meat marketing venture known as the Buffalo Guys. The ranch is managed using holistic practices and is a frequent site for conservation experimentation. The 2017 Leopold Award will be presented November 20th at the Kansas Association of Conservation Districts Convention in Wichita. A check for $10,000 and crystal depicting renowned conservationist Aldo Leopold will be awarded to the overall winner.
Good morning. I'm Eric Osterhaus with Paragon Ag. Well, we're slowly working our way through another harvest season. Most of our producers are busily working in the fields, and as advisors, we get a little more time to reflect upon the year. Soon as the season winds down, many of our producers are going to be doing the exact same thing, reflecting upon the year and trying to decide what they could have done better. Here at Paragon, we do have a unique perspective that many of our producers don't. We get to see the marketing plans of hundreds of producers. As a producer, the only marketing plan that you really get to see is your own. So in many cases, it's difficult to see what you could or should be doing differently. I've never considered myself all that wise, but I have been lucky enough to be around other people who were. One of the best pieces of advice I've heard is that if you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got. In other words, if you aren't happy with your marketing, make a change. Starting today, not tomorrow. There are many effective tools that can be used in marketing, but the average producer uses very few of them. And pulling the trigger on when to use the ones they are using still continues to be difficult as well. Opportunities can slip past simply because we aren't using the right tools, or we simply hesitate when we should be moving forward. Many producers try to do everything themselves and simply don't have the time to be effective as marketers. The markets have given opportunities for profitability these last 2 years, but if what you're doing isn't allowing you to take advantage of those opportunities, do something about it. If you don't have enough knowledge or confidence to use the tools to be more effective, find someone who can help you learn. If you need that extra voice encouraging you to move forward, then find someone to do that. We believe we can help. Give us a call today at 888-452-8751. Have a productive day.
Closed captioning brought to you by
The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. KansasSoybeans.org.
Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farmers and ranchers since 1919. KFB.org. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com. Kansas Livestock Association, supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.